We are taught to always have the next thing on our mind. Like this moment, it doesn't matter. It's already gone. What's happening tomorrow? No, no, no. See, today dictates tomorrow. And if I don't take care of myself today and I'm passed out in the middle of the floor, there is no tomorrow that will come.
Welcome back to another episode on Find Joy with Joyan, the podcast that is all about helping you live and lead a life with joy. I'm your host, Joyan Chan, and every Wednesday we are giving you access to the world's best and brightest minds in their fields on our show. Listen in as these leaders impart their wisdom, inspiration, and stories to empower you to live joyfully with intention, passion, and purpose, and celebrate the struggles and overcome the challenges we may face each day with the tools and insights that we are going to share with you. Whether you are looking to improve your relationship, find your passion, learn how to embrace the present moment, deepen your spiritual connection, or learn the magic of manifestation and law of attraction to attract more abundance, this podcast is here to guide you every step of the way. As your host, I am also challenging myself to dig deeper to learn and unlearn and ride along with you. We are not here to tell you how to live your life because it is your life. But this life is all that we have right now. So my friend, why not live our life to the fullest? So I hope these conversations and stories will guide and inspire you to live your life to your highest potential and a life that you are proud of as you continue to grow and evolve in your own journey. So if you are ready to start living a more passionate, purposeful, and joyful life, join us every Wednesday on Find Joy with Joyan for inspirational stories, powerful message, fun conversations, and empowering thoughts with me and my special guests and friends. And now, without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. She has built an award-winning law firm and publishing house. She is a #1 best-selling author, an ordained New Thought minister, and she is recognized nationally as an outstanding community servant leader, and yet still, something was missing. She realized that although successful, her accolades and achievements did not create lasting happiness. There had to be something more. Hence, she filled the void, which created a bridge that led to the more. It brought her sustainable peace, joy, and fulfillment in her life. And this space of generosity, and she knew she had to share this with others. So she's here today to share with you and empower you to live the ultimate successful life full of joy, peace, and fulfillment. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming the intuitive business coach, Lynita Mitchell-Blackwell.
Thank
Welcome
you
to
so much. Thanks for having me, Joy, and I appreciate you.
It's such a joy to have you here today. And the first place that I will start with you is, when I was reading through your story, can you share with us the pivotal moment when you realized something was missing despite all your accomplishments?
Absolutely, I can. The exact moment was when I was passed out from exhaustion, and my daughter found me on the floor, and she was 6 years old, and she realized that I was tired and too tired to get up to put her to bed, and so she put me to bed. Joanne, she went into her room and she got her Disney princess's blanket and she put it on my body. And then she put her little pillow under my head and kissed me on the forehead and said, "Good night, mommy." And the only thing I had strength to do was to say, "Good night, baby." I couldn't get up. Yeah.
Wow.
I
And
know that was quite an opening, right?
I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting it. Okay. And and so what happened next? Like the next morning, did something change within you, or what decision did you make?
So the change was a process.
Mm,
It wasn't like I woke up the next morning and I was like, and this is what I'm going to do. This is the plan. This required such a major mindset shift that
mm,
it had to come in pieces. And so when I woke up the next morning, I knew something had to change, but I had no idea what. I didn't have the tools or the resources to do anything differently. And I was afraid. I was afraid that if I changed anything about my life, that my successes would go away. And that was very much how I defined myself, with the applause. Oh, you're just so awesome. You're so good. I'm so happy to have you on my team. So happy to have you as my attorney. So happy, so happy, so happy. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't joyful. And so it was not until later when I developed stage 4 endometriosis, and I had to go through a series of incredibly hard surgeries, that I got help from a wonderful organization called the Art of Living Foundation. And Mona Shah Joshi was the executive director of the center here in Georgia at the time. And so I took the classes, and it started with the Art of Happiness. That was the first class, that was the name of it. And they took us through a series of breathing techniques, of stretches, of meditations to help to center the mind. And it was through that process that I developed a new way of defining my success. I realized that I had used other people's definition of what a good life looks like. A good life had to have busyness, it had to have a lot going on, it had to have plenty of money, cars, clothes, status, right? But nowhere in that definition of the good life, Jordan, was joy. You
Yeah.
know, there was nothing about it.
Creepy.
Yeah. And I was like, I have been living my life to check the boxes off of somebody else's list. And I couldn't believe it because, I think we all kind of style ourselves as being independent and being strong minded, not stubborn, but having a definition of who we are and what we want. You know what I'm saying? And to realize that I had not been living a life that reflected that, it was it was eye opening. It was hard.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah. And I could totally relate to every single word that you said because first and foremost, I'm a high achiever. So tell me about it, right? It's all about achieving things and it's all about
Yeah.
results. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So why? Okay. What do you think is the greatest cause of our unhappiness?
Well, the thing is, we're always looking outside of ourselves for something else to make us happy. Some sharing some stats with you. 60% of the people that we work with are emotionally detached and totally checked out from life. That is scary. That means that if there are three of us sitting there, that two people aren't here, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. And then 78% of people are willing to pay to remember what happiness feels like. Not kidding. And this is a problem that was identified before the pandemic. So while COVID had an impact, people already were struggling with happiness. And so I define and create a difference between happiness and joy like this. Happiness is it's out we're outside and the sun is shining and I'm loving it. But as soon as it starts to rain, I'm sad. So the weather has totally hijacked me, has me under emotional control, right?
Mm.
Whereas joy would be, I am so happy and so joyous to be outside and be able to experience what outside feels like. So whether it's raining or it's sunny, it's cold or it's hot, I am grateful to even have the sensation to appreciate the differences in the weather. Now, sometimes does life emotionally hijack us? Absolutely. There are things happening, there are people doing things that are inconsistent with who we think they are. But at all times, we can come back and center ourselves to remember that we have ultimate control over what we are and how we present in this world. And I choose to present as a joyful human being.
Mm. What I would say, what tools did you use to achieve that state of being joyous?
Mhm.
Is it really through meditation and only meditation, or there are some other tools that you are using to achieve that state?
So, the first thing is I created a routine. And so,
Mhm.
just like when we want to lose weight, right? We
Yeah.
decide that we're going to drink more water, we're going to eat right, we're going to exercise, we're going to get enough rest. Okay, well, when you decide that you want a joyous life, then there is a process or routine that comes with that as well. Now, mine is every day when I get up, the first thing that I do is not flip on my phone, but I go straight to my living room where it's quiet before the family gets up.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I do my stretches to get a little limber, and then I go through my breathing to relax my body and to center my mind, and then I go into meditation. Now, it was explained to me that the difference between meditation and then I do my prayers and prayer is that meditation is listening to the God of your understanding. And then that prayer is talking to that being. And my grandmother, she used to say, you have two ears and one mouth, so you should do twice as much listening as you do talking.
Love it.
Right. And so that's why I do meditation first. I want to hear what is going on with me, what is the plan for the day. And then I speak affirmations as part of my prayers, ordering how I want my day to flow. I want my clients to receive excellent service from me. I want to be both professional as well as empathetic. I want people to drive on the road as if they have sense and their kids are in the car too. That doesn't always happen, but I can speak those affirmations, right? I can speak affirmations, and I do speak affirmations to eat well and to be in joy in the entire day. Now, like I said, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Somebody cuts you off, it frustrates you. Somebody is
Mm.
not paying attention and you miss the light. Someone is showing up for work and they are making your life hard. But at all times, you have control over your breath. At all times, there is this space within you. For me, it's right under my sternum where I can go in and I can remember that I am peace, I am joy, I am fulfilled. And that really helps. My clients actually can tell the difference. It really helps with the energy in a room. And when you have that routine that you do daily, you get used to it. And on the days that you think you're just going to get a little more rest, you notice it when you didn't do it. And so I will stop and take the 5 minutes and get centered, get acclimated, get in the flow.
I totally agree with that because routines are so important to really set the day and start the day the right note, right? On a positive note. And why is it so hard for people to stay consistent?
Right. So it's actually two parts to that, just being honest. So when I talk about my overly accomplished resume, I am very honest in saying that I was an addict. And so I didn't know anything other to do than to go after things so that I could just wrap things up on my resume. When you
Mm.
have a pattern, even when you know that it is not the best thing for you and that you need to stop, it is very difficult. And even after you come out of it and you incorporate these new tools and techniques, that old stuff is still there. It's kind of like trying to swear off sweets. And then your best friend says, let's go to this bakery or the cupcakery. And you're just like, friend, what I told you, I'm trying to lose weight. But you don't say no. You go in anyway. And what do? You eat a cupcake. It's the same thing. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is fear. Because once you start doing the work and flipping the switch, turning the page, that means there's accountability now. People are looking to you and you feel responsible for them and what they're perceiving. And for those folks, I will tell you, don't do it. Everyone's path
Mm.
is their own. And if someone looks to you and they see you shining bright and they ask you, how are you doing it? Absolutely, you want to share. But then don't make yourself responsible for their happiness and their joy. That's their responsibility. We're all here to live our life the best way that we can.
Yeah, well, I love it. So, okay, we know we could achieve joy and peace and fulfillment and happiness, but you know, we are still human being, and we are not perfect. We still have emotions, negative emotions. I'm talking about like anger,
Yes.
frustrations, anxiety, depression, sadness. So how do we, in the moment when you're feeling anxiety or anger or frustrations, what is the best use, what is your strategy, or what is the best use of those negative emotions?
So, the best use of those emotions is to understand that you still have space to grow. And when you realize
Okay.
that you have space to grow, it makes you look at the other person with more empathy and compassion because that's what you would want for yourself. I remember this one organization where I served as president, a group of lady lawyers, and one of the ladies was going through in real time what I'd gone through about 10 years prior with the endometriosis, with the stress at work, the a small child, the whole 9 yards. And in watching her, Joanne, it was like watching myself on a big screen at the drive-in, and it was painful because I was like, man, is this how I was showing up in the world? And the answer the spirit gave was, yeah, that was you. So how would you have wanted someone to have treated you? How would you have wanted someone to support you? And so I said, yeah, I get it. So instead of being confrontational, instead of talking about her behind her back, instead of making her feel like this big, all things that happened to me by people who I thought were my friends, people who I thought loved me, I did the opposite. Um, when she would do things that were inconsistent with the person who I knew her to be, I would ignore them. When she didn't come through and she gave some crazy excuse, I knew why she couldn't. She was ill, but she was too embarrassed to say. I just made sure it got done. That is very difficult for us because we're not really trained, particularly as professionals, to do that, to help cover, right?
Mhm.
Because we are taught to go into the workplace as competitors, that somebody
Yeah.
has to win and everybody else has to lose. But I am challenging that and I'm asking people to shift their mindset, to change the paradigm, and to say that we can all win, that we can all be loved, that we can all be supported, that we can all be in a joyous state. And I know that that is unpopular because it's weird. It is against everything that we were raised to know. But, you know, it is my belief that our parents and our teachers, they do the best they can to raise us according to what they know. And then after you hit about 25, 26, it's time for you to create your own way to move through the world. And it's not their fault
Yeah.
anymore, right? Because you now have the skills that you need to support yourself to be an independent human being. And now you can create a life that best reflects who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. And so that's
Wow, that's
yeah, and
good.
that's how I deal with the frustration. Now, I don't always do that immediately. Sometimes it does take time for me to reflect. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
but I get there eventually.
Yeah, we all do. We
Yes.
all do. Yeah, we have to be patient sometimes. Healing or transformation doesn't happen overnight, right? Like you
Yes.
said in the beginning, it takes
Yes.
time. It's a process, it's a journey, and we'll get there
That's right.
eventually.
I like
Yeah.
what you said. It's a
But
process, it's a journey. Yes.
we have to have the courage to
That's
start,
right.
right? To want to
That's
keep.
right. And
Yeah.
along with the courage, we have to have support. It is really
Mm,
important to surround ourselves with people who love us and are genuinely invested in us getting better. Um, Not just because they're invested in us getting back to who we used to be so we can work our tails
mm,
off for their benefit. I'm talking about people who are invested because they really need us, like our families, right?
mm.
And then once we get good there, then our communities. And then once we get there, then
Yeah.
our jobs. But it's really important for us to reprioritize so that we are taking care of the people who love and take care of us. And we don't always put those things in the right order.
What I would say, the most important person that we need to take care of is ourselves, right?
Yes,
It's
you
ourselves.
got that. That's right.
Yeah, because if we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't take care of anyone
Yes.
else. Like family, yeah, important, but we have to like your story, right? You were so exhausted, and your daughter, 6 year old, she had to put you to bed, right? Wow, that's
And
yeah.
I hate that. Sometimes I think about that and I get teary, but I have to tell that story because that is what jars people into the present moment. Because I'm asking you, is this what you want? Is this what you want your life to become? Because I promise you, if you don't take better care of yourself, this is what's going to happen to you. I know because this happened to me.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it happened for a reason. You are here
I
now
agree.
and telling the
I
story.
agree.
Yeah. Beautiful. Now let's move on to your how are you helping people today? I want to talk about the steps, the 5 steps, that you have created, the 5 step formula to the ultimate successful life. So because that's what I think, based on my understanding, the more that you were seeking, you found it in the 5 step formula. So could you give us an overview of these steps and how they have transformed your life?
I absolutely can. So, um, in doing it, and I know that people are going to be like, that's so touchy feely, but go with me on this, okay, folks? So, the first thing that I had to do is I had to learn how to be in silence. So, this is not just talking,
Mm,
but that's a piece of it. It is truly giving the communication center of your brain a chance to rest. And for high performing individuals, that is very difficult
mm,
because we are taught to always have an answer at the ready, right? We're always taught that we need to be front and center. And if we're not talking, then somebody else's is winning. And that is bad. We have to give ourselves a chance to be silent. Go on a walk. Appreciate what's going on around you without commentary. And so that means no judgment. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just outside. We're just going to be here. Which leads to the next thing is to truly be. So I'm not running behind something or somebody else. I'm not allowing someone else to hijack me. I am appreciating being in this moment right here, right now. That is also difficult for high performing people because we are taught to always have the next thing on our mind,
yeah.
right? Like this moment, it doesn't matter. It's already gone. What's happening tomorrow? No, no, no. See, today dictates tomorrow.
Mm,
And if I don't take care of myself today and I'm passed out in the middle of the floor, there is no tomorrow that will come. Right? So we have to learn to really appreciate being right here, right now. The next thing is meditation. Sitting down and just listening to what your body has to say to you, what spirit has to say to you, and not responding, just listening. And then once you're out of that feeling, because there's a feeling that comes of relaxation, of peace. Once you can still, I heard someone call it the busy mind, another the monkey mind. Once you can still all of that talk,
Mm.
and you can really be silent, then your mind can start to flow with the creative juices. Have a journal, write down those ideas. You will get a feeling of what needs to be moved on now and what is for later. But keep a journal so you can write those things down. And then you're going to learn how to move in flow. Now, flow is truly a feeling, it is an energy signature. And it is one that will allow you to be incredibly successful in your business. It will allow you to engage well with your relationships. It will allow you to eliminate things that are busy work and to key into the things that are productive in every area of your life. But it requires you to listen to your intuitive intelligence. So, this is a feeling. So, this is not happening here. This is happening here in the heart center. And that is also hard because we are taught that if you are an intelligent being, it's always about the brain. We ignore the heart. And I'm asking you not to turn off your brain, but to listen more to your heart. And then the last is to be in awe of your life, to be in awe of the person you are, to really look and appreciate your skills, gifts, and talents. This is taboo, but I'm going to say it anyway. There are some of us who have these gifts of clairvoyance,
Mm.
the gifts of prophecy, you have the gifts of precognition, and you are suppressing them. You need to use them. You are here to make the world a better place, and your gifts will make room for you so that you can be a help. Will never forget one time I was talking with one of my legal clients, and I told her that her mom was so proud of her. And she said, no, what did she really say? And so I then said, okay, so she has some attitude with the neck rolling and stuff, but she's really proud of you. And she said, yeah, that's more like my mom. Notice she was not shocked about a thing I said. Exactly. She was not shocked that oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. Her mother was deceased.
Oh, now I'm shocked. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And people will appreciate and they will pay premium dollar for a person who is willing to use all of themselves on their behalf. And so I no longer hide those things. I no longer shut them down. I embrace them. I encourage other people to do the same.
Mm,
And so that those are my steps. That's truly how it is. It's simple, but it does require consistency.
I love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking us through the 5 steps. Be in silence, truly be meditation, be in flow, and be all of who you are. I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Now I want to
Yeah.
go back to something that you said in the very beginning, something about people are the stats, right? People are, you said like 2 out of 3 people are emotionally detached and check out. Right?
Yes. It's scary, right?
Yeah. And so how do we be more engaged? How do people be more engaged with their life?
So, if you are a business owner and you have even a modicum of control over the environment in which you're working, one of the things that you can do that won't cost any money is to dedicate an area where people can just go and be. And to respect that, if a person says, I really need 10, go. Go take your 10.
Okay.
If you don't have such a space, encourage mental health breaks. If a person says, I am just not with it today, let them take it. Do you really want someone on your team who is bringing that kind of energy into your organization? It is catching. It's like a cold, and it takes everybody out. And those who have immune systems that are strong enough to withstand it, they are then holding it up for everybody else who's missing,
Yeah.
right? So that's those are two things that I would say you can do immediately. Another thing that you can do to get people more engaged is to be respectful of their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations. One of the things that I have noticed over the past 100 years is we have become very confused about how organizations were built. The agreement was that you come and work for me for 20 years, and then thereafter, I would take care of you through a pension, right?
Mm,
But then somewhere along the lines, we got confused. And I'm saying it was everyone because we began to think that the pension was in place of me going out and doing what I'm supposed to do. No, that was for that 20 years time. After that, I'm supposed to go off and do what I'm supposed to do. And then these companies, they expect all of this loyalty, but you've not done anything to earn it. You've taken away the pension.
mm.
You're not properly managing the 401k plans. The benefits continue to shrink. And then you just let me go without any warning. And there is no care as to what I want to do with my life and the things that I'm interested in outside of this place. Well, yeah, you're going to have a bunch of detached, unhappy people.
Yeah, I think which is what they are having right now, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, with the great resignation movement.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And the problem is a lot of people don't even know what they want to do with their life. And
Yes.
yeah, we were all taught, you just have to go to school, get good grades, find a job, get paid, and then eventually get married, have kids, eventually retire and then to die. It's like basically that is the plan, right?
And
Yeah,
that's so depressing
I
listening to that,
know.
right?
That is so freaking depressing. And so the question is that a lot of people don't question themselves, like why am I here? Like what am I here to do? Am I really just here to go through the stages and then eventually be gone? Or is there something more? Right? And that's the more that you found in your journey, right? Because you were asking yourself the same question, I'm sure, right? Is this what I'm want to do?
Absolutely, because my first profession out of undergrad was accounting.
Mm,
And I chose that. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but everybody around me in business school was getting their CPA license. And so that's what I did. And I did not like it at all. And so I went back and got my law degree. And I'm grateful that I was in a position to do so. I'm married to a wonderful man who was very supportive while I went to law school.
mm,
Um, and then he went back and changed his profession from finance to ministry. So we have had an opportunity to be life partners and supporting one another as we have figured out what we wanted to do. And I think that's one of our strengths is that we realized that what we were doing at that moment was not creating life joy. And we were willing to take risks to figure out what we really wanted out of life and to do it. And I think that's the step. A lot of people think that, oh well, I made this choice, I'm stuck. No, you are absolutely not stuck. And remember that this is about the process, as you said, Joyan. This is about the process. And so make a change. And no, it's not going to be easy, but going to work every day to a place that you don't like, doing work that you don't like, that's not easy either.
yeah, 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 absolutely. So tell us, because you are intuitive business coach, right?
Mhm.
That's what you do. And so who are you working with and who do you serve? Like how are you helping people?
Absolutely. So, most of the people who come to me at this point are drawn to me because I'm an author. And I used to publish other authors. Now I help authors get their book out, but also establish publishing companies so that they can build it to either be a legacy component to their estate plan so they can pass it down, or they can sell it because it's profitable and it's making money. I also help small businesses and entrepreneurs, either in setting up or fortifying what they've already established through my law practice, and or completing their estate plan, so their will, their advance directive, to ensure that everything that they have worked for, that it is protected and that it is passed on to the next generation.
Yeah, because I believe as entrepreneurs, we are doing what we love, absolutely,
Mhm.
but we are also wanting to leave a legacy behind, right? Want to make an
Yes.
impact and yeah, help people make our future generations a lot better than what we are today. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your stories and being here with us. I love everything you said. And is there anything else before we move on to the final stage of our podcast? Is there anything else that we really want to talk about or share? Perhaps I didn't let you or didn't ask you.
Oh, actually, I would like to just share that my latest book, Live Life on Fire: The Ultimate Guide to a Successful Life Full of Peace, Joy, and Fulfillment, is out right now. We were very
Woo!
blessed. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
We were blessed for it to go number one.
Ooh,
And I am excited about getting this message out. It goes through everything that we talked about today, answering the question, what are you living for? So it's not the stuff, right? We really answer the question that we're living for ourselves so that we can show up well for us, for the people we love, and for the work that we've been called to do.
beautiful. I love the question. I'm writing it down. And I encourage my listeners who are listening to this right now, ask yourself, what are you living for? What are you living for? I love that question. All right, and now I have more questions for you because we always end our episode with our final five rapid fire questions. Every question, live life on fire. Talk about that. Every question has to be answered in one word or one sentence maximum. Rapid fire.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go. First question: what is one thing you wish you knew earlier?
I wish I knew if I ate so many cupcakes, I would be paying for it later.
That was not the answer that I was expecting.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. Second question: if you could live your life all over again, what would you do differently?
Not a thing.
Beautiful. Love it. Third question: what is something you're trying to learn or curious about right now?
Joint ventures.
Ooh. Next question: if you had 5 minutes and the whole world was listening to you, what would you say?
Live life on fire.
Yay, I love it. Yes, buy the book. The last question is: what brings you joy?
Being. Just
Mm,
being. Mhm.
huge,
Yeah.
huge. Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much for taking your time out in your late evening to join us today. And now tell my people where they can find you and where they can get the book, connect with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me this evening, your morning. You can go online to my website, LynitaMitchell-Blackwell.com, and there you can join my email list, buy my books, follow me on social, which is by my name. But that is the easiest way. Just go to my website and you'll be able to get into the world of Lynita and we can connect.
All right, guys, I know you love this episode, right? If not, you wouldn't be listening to the very end. So go follow Lynita, go to her website, check out all the amazing things that she's doing, get a book, Live Life on Fire, and you'll find all the links in the show note below. And if you're not following me, follow me at join.chan. That's my Instagram account as well. And please tell us, take a screenshot of this episode. Tell us what is your biggest takeaway from this episode. Take me and take Lenita, and tell us what are you living for. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode coming every Wednesday. And I will always leave you the same way as I leave you with every other episode. Show up. The world needs you and you need you. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all a joyful and amazing day ahead. Bye. Thank you again for tuning to Find Joy with Joyan podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can help support this podcast in one of three ways. 1. Take a screenshot of this episode and share it on your IG story and tag me at findjoyjoyan_podcast so I can repost and connect with you. 2. Share this podcast with a friend or a family member. And 3. Leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts so we can continue to grow and reach more listeners worldwide. Make sure you also subscribe so you don't miss out on any episode coming Wednesday. Thanks for being here, and I will see you soon in the next episode.